introduction. I got to tell you, my name is Philip, so...
Excuse me.
But no, this is really... I love it
My fault.
because I have lived this throughout my life because I have an identical twin brother named Paul.
Oh,
So,
really?
yeah, I do. So, I love it. That's what I'm saying.
Thank you for making me look good. I appreciate that.
I have some stories about, dating in college. So I set them up pretty good. Karma. Okay, so welcome. I want to talk today about a couple of our spiritual principles. The first one is spiritual principle number 7. We affirm the moral responsibility to make our own happiness or unhappiness by following nature's physical and spiritual laws. So everything is governed and controlled by a group of laws, and we call them several things: universal laws, cosmic laws, natural laws, or just plain God laws. And the laws are always working, whether we are conscious of them or not. The first one I want to talk about is the law of cause and effect. And this happens to be the first principle of healing. Every effect has a cause, and that cause always produces that effect. And there's no exceptions to that rule. The cause will always produce its effect, and the effect will always be produced by that cause. There's another law we call the law of karma. And karma is the manifestation of cause and effect. When we look at healing, there is a term in the medical profession called allopathy. And this is where they are treating the symptom or the effect. And taking medication with the sole purpose of treating the symptom or the effect is more or less like blowing at the smoke to put out the fire. Okay, so we're pretty much numbing the signal or the change without acknowledging the purpose or the cause. We have to look at it. Every symptom has a purpose. Fever destroys bacteria, viruses, and toxins. Nausea and vomiting remove dangerous substances from our bodies, and pain alerts us to potential dangers. And for example, if we treated our automobile much like we treated our own physical bodies, then we'd be on the side of the road calling AAA or something. So we have to look at, if you have an oil leak and all you do is put in quarts of oil, that is treating the effect or the symptom. And you might want to actually go get an oil change, and they might replace the filter, which is causing that problem. Perhaps a gasket is causing that leak. My wife went and got an oil change once, and they didn't screw down the oil pan correctly. And by the time she got home, she was out of oil, all 5 quarts out of the engine. And when you look at that, what would have happened if she drove 200 miles? Blown the engine or something. So we got to look at the cause is what we want to do it. And we have to look at all of Mother ask ourselves, Chief Seattle is standing by my side, have we actually been a good steward of Mother Earth? Look at our industrial age. Look at what we've done to Mother Earth. Not only with mining, with oil exploration, things like these, forestry. Yes, are we a good steward of Mother Earth? And we have to ask, that has a cause and effect. So we get oil out of the ground, the effect is our automobiles run. But what is the cause of what it's doing to Mother Earth? So we all have to look at what our actions are, that karma that is being produced or manifested as to cause and effect. Now there is another law that I want to talk about. This one is a tongue twister. Okay, it is the law of reciprocity. Reciprocity, okay? All right, so you got that one. So, and I'm going to use the adjective of reciprocity, and that's reciprocal. So the law of reciprocal energies. All right, fair enough? And this is all about an action that is being rewarded with another action in return. And the simplest way to look at that is spiritual principle number 6, which is we believe that the highest morality is contained in the golden rule. Whatsoever ye would that others should do unto you, do ye also unto them. And that is the golden rule as expressed in many spiritual churches around the world. We here in SAC has put, do unto others as you would have them do unto you, which both those verses are found in the Bible. One is Matthew and the other one is I can't remember. But when we look at that, then karma, good or bad, is created through that law of reciprocal energies. And when we look at whatsoever ye would that others should do unto you, do ye also unto them? Okay, what's that sound like? An eye for an eye. Okay? They do bad things, you're going to do good things. But do unto others as you would do unto them is more of a positive type energy. So, and this works with the law of attraction. Okay? Now when I'm talking about the law of reciprocal energies here, that's on a microcosm. The macrocosm law of reciprocal energy states all laws must reciprocate mutually with one another. In other words, all universal laws must cooperate with each other for their own and our mutual benefit and for the greater good of nature. Back to nature. So when we look at the microcosm or the macrocosm, then all these laws are interrelated together. So when we look at this on the microcosm, then when the law of reciprocal energies is working with the law of attraction. Good attracts good, like attracts like, and bad attracts bad. So we have to look at what are we creating in that reciprocal energies. If it's good, we're going to attract good. Okay? And it works with cause and effect. All those laws working together. If we create good, then we'll have a good effect, and that will come back to us. Okay. I wanted to talk a little bit about going back to the law of cause and effect. And today we have the Super Bowl, if anybody's football fans. And we have to ask, I have a good word for that, Stupor Bowl. That was maybe when I was younger in college. And we have to look at that. How did they get to the Super Bowl? Well, they followed their game plan, and they made less mistakes. So the game plan is the cause. The actual effort on the field is the effect of that. So when we look at that, every cause has an effect. So that's just a point of what's going on today. But everything must also live within the law of harmony. And harmony is just peace, contentment, and the awareness of truth. That everything in existence must be in harmony about it. That's why it's important for us to be in harmony with Mother Earth. But to me, the law of harmony is, the law of common sense. Okay? Not a lot of people teach common sense now. I mean, it's like, look at the Super Bowl tonight, okay? Don't do stupid things. You're going down the highway and it says, okay, if you need a ride, get one. So you have to be in harmony. And I've known a couple people who had DUIs after the Super Bowl, and that's not a good thing. We can have that common sense to prevent that. Okay, we talked about the law of karma and how that actually, with the law of reciprocal energies creating it and the law of cause and effect manifesting it, we have to look at that law springs from our own thoughts. So we are as we believe we are, and then we must compensate for it, or the law of compensation, similar to the law of reciprocal energies. That what we put out, we must get back. If we do harm to others, then harm will come to us. Again, interacting with the golden rule. If we do good to others, then good will come to us. Right? And I have another guide here. Chief Seattle here, John Lennon here, instant karma. Okay? It's, and when we look at instant karma, that does exist. It works a lot with the law of forgiveness. And I know another person I was in business with. And he was a treasurer and did some, I wouldn't say illegal activities, but probably writing checks to himself and the boss probably is not good karma for you. And so when the business came down to it, I forgave him for whatever actions that he took, because this is the kind of person who's not going to take responsibility for anything. It's always somebody else's problem. So he didn't accept my forgiveness. So when you don't accept forgiveness, what happens is the karma is going to build up double in the person who doesn't accept it. Right? So 5 years later, I get a note that he's 2 years cancer-free from rectal cancer. So you don't want to wish that on anybody, but the instant karma thing is, you're going to act like an a-hole, you may get the consequences. So, all right, just a teaching point.
That's true.
All right. Okay, so again, the greatest, I guess, law is a law of love. And it's just a mental expression that creates emotion, energy, and power. So all the things we create are controlled with love. And love brings happiness and contentment into our life. Right? Love, contentment. Now we can be happy, but we need a fulfilled life too. And that's where the contentment comes in. So it is that love for everything. We've got to get back to Mother Nature again. Because Mother Nature gives everything to us. And we have to be a good steward to her. Now, to conclude, what I would say with all the natural laws, the universal laws, cosmic laws, God laws, that we have our own responsibility to stand up to the principles of spiritualism. And as we follow them, we have to take that responsibility. And in this day and age, there's a lot of responsibility that's being shifted. But it is all up to us, to that spirit within us, to live by those principles and make a difference in our lives.